Hi, my name is Justin Miller and welcome to Going Live with Wowza. I'm here today to talk to you about IP cameras, and with me I have an expert, William Goldie, and he is from, what, you don't want to be called expert?
Expert, man, that's a tall order. All right, better not flub this one up at all.
William is from PTZOptics. Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Well, you are more of an expert than I am. So that being said,
expert in the room.
Just to give some people a little bit of information here, I use on a regular basis for the company these PTZOptics cameras when we do stuff within the company. We usually don't use these for productions when we have to, like, let's say, travel someplace. But for things that are local right here, these are great cameras to have. The big reason I like these is because they have the pan tilt zoom capabilities. But there's a lot that I really haven't gotten into, and that is the IP aspect of these IP cameras. So I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about that. What's the difference between that versus if I had just gotten, let's say, like a closed circuit camera?
Fair enough, yeah. So IP cameras using an IP infrastructure or workflow for media creation, live streaming, intercompany communications, which you were talking about, relatively new. And the reason for that is because the networking world and the AV world have been a little bit separated, and that's based on infrastructure. So when we talk pro AV, what we're usually talking about is SDI or coax cable. To send uncompressed digital video from a camera like a PTZOptics camera back to a switchboard, and then you plug that into your switcher and you push that out live, however you're going to do that.
And even now I'm using HDMI cables.
Fair enough. Hey, you got to have a hardwire somewhere. We're totally cool with that. Actually, the nice part about our cameras is we do simultaneous IP, HDMI, SDI, and USB between the SDI or the USB model. So you can actually have a redundancy built into your system if you wanted to. But going back to the IP side of the world, now that we have Facebook and YouTube Live, a lot of these protocols are based on the RTMP and RTSP streams. IP video has just become so much more robust, like you talked about, with having PTZ control of your camera. So you could have 4, 5, even 8 or 20 of these set up in a room, all on a network, and you could have a single person just controlling each camera, even from a VPN, even remotely from anywhere in the world. And if you're on that IP network, that IP infrastructure, pretty much the world's your oyster. You can build out a studio as large or as small as you want.
And I know there are a lot of production companies out there who actually want that remote capability that you're talking about. They have their control room way across, still in New York, let's say, but they're shooting something in like San Francisco.
And if you have comparable internet speeds and you have a strong enough or a large enough network, you can, in theory, wire every room in an office building for video. Think about anytime you walk into an office building, there's probably an Ethernet jack in the wall. All of a sudden, that room is now wired with the infrastructure for video and audio. And now that becomes a content creation space or a communication space.
So that being said, there are a lot of offices already out there pre-wired with like Cat 6 capable of doing gigabit connections.
So you don't have to wire with new coax cable or audio cables and things like that. So it is a great simplification of the infrastructure needed to get AV into a space.